You are now tuned into the sounds of
Big Nate Sports Talk.
It's on all the time, anytime.
Tuned in to Big Nate Sports Talk, the show that is on all the time, anytime. And now, ladies and gentlemen, your host, Nathan Snell.
And thank you, Mr. Anthony Handy. As always, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. It is your host, Nathan Snell, Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast, episode 463. In this episode, we are talking Maryland football. In this episode, we're previewing NIU, and we're recapping the first one against Florida Atlantic. Before we get into that, there's a few things I want to say up front. You should have seen the two videos earlier that went up sometime today. I apologize about the WNBA video. I'm not going to lie. The Angel Reese video I did yesterday, earlier today, that was recorded. I was a little nervous about that one. I was a little nervous about the response that it was going to get. It's honestly gotten some good reviews, and got likes. I got a couple of subscribers to it, so I appreciate the new subs to the channel. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe for our future content on the podcast. It's much appreciated. You can follow me on Twitter. You can also follow my work with Team MBS Media and MarylandSportsBlog.com as I'm wrapping up with them for the WNBA season. Maryland. College football is in the air, ladies and gentlemen. We last talked about them last week, and Maryland defeated Florida Atlantic 39-37, and that was their 16th consecutive win. And in that game, that was pretty much a one-sided game. Couple things that stuck out to me. We have a receiver room that is loaded with talent, but is extremely deep. But I was a little confused in terms of we didn't really see a lot of certain receivers as the game progressed. I'm curious to see how Pep Hamilton will utilize all the playmakers, but he kind of stuck with Knotts, Webb, Octavian Smith Jr., Dorian Fleming, because all five of them have 5 catches. All had multiple catches. I think Fleming led with 6, I remember correctly. So I'm just curious to see how we're going to look with that. That's the first thing that stood out to me. We have a new kicker. Mr. House is no longer with us, but Sean O'Hare, I got to give him a shout out. He was from Ireland, an Ireland native, he was the Richmond Spiders. 12 from 12 last season. Looked pretty good. His first made all 3 field goals. His longest one was from 49, if I remember correctly, and made all 4 extra points. So the only other thing was on the injury report. We did lose our freshman offensive lineman, Jalen Gilchrist. He suffered a right leg injury and then Isaiah Wright came in for the the remaining time of the game. And unfortunately, he is out for the rest of the year. And we're wishing him for a speedy recovery because he did have his right leg in a cast. And yeah, that sucks to see because he is, to me, I think, a big piece of the depth for the team. But I don't know. We'll probably. I'm hoping. Let me rephrase. I'm hoping it's not a serious injury, but he was caught off the field and his leg in the cast. We'll see. I shouldn't have said out for the season. My apologies. We'll just wait. We'll see how it looks. Justin Martin got banged up, but he came off. He walked off with the trainers, and he did not come back from, if I remember correctly. Outside of that, but throughout the game, Nolan Ryan, to me, is the de facto number one running back in this game, and he led with 34 snaps, and then Deshaun Williams with 30 snaps, and then for some unknown reason, Deshaun Williams ended up leading with 54. I think he had 10 carries, and I don't know what that was. Nolan Ray only had 25 yards and I don't know if that was just they were more comfortable sticking with Deshaun. I don't know if it was something they saw with the defense. Either way, I'm not mad at the two-way option. Even got to see Mr. Iverson Howard, freshman. He had 8 carries for 23 yards. So it was nice to see that. I mean, offensive line was my biggest one of my keys to victory. They did well because to me they are the key. They take this team as far as this offensive line takes this team as far as they can take it. Penalties were, I'm looking at my notes. Penalties were kept very minimum. Running lanes were inconsistent, but when needed to, they were executed properly. The 2 carries that Mr. Deshaun Williams had, which was the 15 and the 17-yard runs, respectfully, those were great running lanes created. I thought the pass protection was much better than the run game than the run game. They did not allow a sack. Only 2 quarterback hits. I gotta give him credit for that. What else I'm looking at here? I already kind of leaned on. Actually, let me go back. Let me look at the quarterback. Mr. Malik Washington had himself a day. I know I'm going to get some flack for this, and I'm entitled to my opinion, and I'm going to stand 10 toes down. Malik Washington has promise. He has a bright future, and I think he will be great for us. One game, to me, does not solidify him as a starting quarterback for the team. Justin got hurt, left early. He got injured on the 6-yard line, and he didn't throw a pass. Christian threw 4 passes and only completed 1 for 10 yards. I get it. Malik, 6'5", arm talent is nothing new. I've seen it from on the high school tapes. I mean, he was quickly go through his progressions. He was making good decisions with the ball, did all those things. But I look back at the tape. Everyone's talking about the 3 touchdowns. And this is where, again, critiquing. And understand that this is something where players will always get better. That first quarter, and some of that also too was trying to find a groove with the receivers, because he flew 3 of 9 in the first quarter, and there were I wouldn't say they were terrible throws. It just, to me, like it could have been better decision making with the ball. But I think once he got out there, he was comfortable. So, because I think with because of that first touchdown was to Salik Knots, and the next two was to Caleb and Dorian. So, he had a after the second quarter. That's when really, because her first quarter as an offense, they all struggled. It's when the second quarter, that's when everything kind of clicked for everybody. And then after the second quarter, offensively, we only managed 6 points in the second half. And I'm going to get a little bit more into that. But listen, he had a great game, but I would like to see what he does against NIU. That's just me. Defensively, our linebackers, I think did really well. Daniel Wingate, I definitely think should make an all Big Ten team this year. He looked good. He led Maryland with 10 tackles. He had a tackle for a loss. I believe if I remember correctly, he had an interception, I want to say. He should have had an interception, but it was called back because of a penalty. He did stop Velkamp on that fourth down keeper on the 3-yard line, the forced turnover on downs. But yeah, I mean, him and Trey Reddick, all of them did a really good job creating pressure off the ball and getting to the quarterback. The defensive line we talked about, they have depth this year. Sidney Stewart, and he got a sack on Caden. Zaire Mathis, I believe he forced the throw from Caden, and that led to the 6. Oh, yep. No, excuse me. Let me back up. Zahir, he forced Caden in the end zone for the safety. And then, I'm sorry, that was Sidney Stewart. And then Zahir forced Caden to make a bad throw. It led to a pick 6 to Daniel Wingate. My apologies. I had to clear that up. I had that all wrong. I'm thinking of somebody else in that game because we should have had like 8 interceptions, if we're being honest. They did really well in the run. I think we had 3 yards per. They held them to almost 3 yards per carry. The secondary as a whole did really well. I think the first 5 of the 6 interceptions, that's the most since 1998. But look, from what they looked like last year, I was really proud of that. What other scene? Other takeaways. Biggest thing was just the penalties. And again, this is a young team. It was one game, but I think they'll get better with that. The defense wasn't. I'm just going to start with the defense as a whole. It was not pretty to start with. On Florida Atlantic's first drive, it committed 5 penalties. 3 of them were offsides. That can't happen at all. Where's my clip?
Mm-hmm. I can't defend that. Mm-hmm. What do you want me to say to that?
The next one, one of those offside flags, it took away that first interception. It was an interception by Daniel Wingate that would have given us. I think that would have set the tone for us, but it is. But Florida Atlantic, if I remember correctly, took 4 minutes off the clock, but we held firm, and that's where he stuffed them, Caden Velkamp, on that fourth down keeper. And credit and their defense, once they made the adjustments, was really great. Now Zach Kitley, I talked about him. He has an air raid offense. They did a really good job holding them to 142 passing yards in the first half. And credit the front seven. They made Caden uncomfortable in the pocket. And to force him to curve, I mean, we hadn't seen a safety like that. Golly, it's been a couple years since that's happened, but it just, they did all the right things in terms of making adjustments. Those were really biggest takeaways from that side of the ball. Back to I just want to really wanted to touch on the receivers. I was disappointed that Ryan Manning and Caleb Webb didn't, especially Ryan Manning. I was kind of hoping he'd get a couple more opportunities. They did get opportunities in the game. Ryan, if I remember correctly, finished with 1 catch for 4 yards, and I don't know if it's still trying to figure out how to use him. Yeah, I think he would use more as the season progresses. But yeah, I'm trying to really Pep Hamilton's going to have his work cut off for him because he has a lot of playmakers with this year, and like that's something that really, really stands out to me when I watched the game. But other than that, it was a really, really good game. And we just got the run game kind of, honestly and truthfully, we went away from that. I think we had over 112 yards combined as a cohesive unit, and then we went away from it. We really got to figure out also too why, even though 7 Terrapins had caught the ball to at least 1 pass, to only score 6 points in the second half as an offense. That can't happen. Now, I don't know if it just was, okay, we were comfortable with the lead. I don't know. But hopefully we don't see that as we play NIU. I want to keep saying NIL, but Northern Illinois. I'm just going to say it like that. We're going to take a quick commercial break, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back. All right, baby. It's Friday Night Lights at College Park. The Maryland Terrapins take on the Northern Illinois Huskies. My apologies. Another Mid-Atlantic Conference opponent. We hadn't seen these guys since 2004. Because 2003 we were ranked number 15, and they defeated us, and then the next year we got a revenge. If I remember correctly. Thomas Hammock. Shout out to Coach Thomas doing his thing. Running back coach for the Baltimore Ravens. Doing some good things over there in Northern Illinois. Won the famous Idaho Potato Bowl this past year. So good to see you still doing some big things over there. Last year, 8-5, 500 in the MAC conference. But to me, to lead them to 2 bowl wins, and he's tied for the most career wins as a Huskies coach. That's fantastic. He was already with them, I believe it was 2005, but he was with us for 4 years, from 14 to 18. So it's nice to see he's back there doing his thing. So biggest thing that I took away from this team is they have defense. They have as a team going against for the MAC, they have the most sacks. Last year they had I believe it was 36. They did beat Holy Cross. It was like 19-17, but their defense did allow 10 points. But some of that also too was special teams. And I'm curious to see how they will look defensively. Defensively, I'm curious to see how we will respond to them. Offensively, how we will make adjustments to their defensive pressures. I'm curious to see how we will, because we didn't allow a sack at all. We're going to be tested with that for sure. Their quarterback play at the moment is a little suspect. If I remember correctly, Josh Holtz got hurt in the game against Holy Cross, and I think he should be able to play, from my understanding. He did complete 12 of 18 passes over 100 yards, but he did throw an interception. But I mean, last year they weren't the best passing team either, and even his backup, they were ranked like in the bottom 3 in terms of passing. Clip.
I mean, this is some bad stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know what I'm going to say. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how much more of this I can take. I just don't know. This is ridiculous. Oh, Lord.
And I put this on my article on teammbsmedia.com. One of my biggest keys to victory, shout out to Sean Spencer, is one, will we stick with the upperclassmen receivers? Because one thing I've noticed with their defense is they are highly touted. I can see that defense is their identity. So I'm really curious to see how that would look. How will their offense look against our defense? Also, too, limiting the penalties. I am really nervous to see I'm curious to see how defensively we will respond after allowing 5 penalties like that against Florida Atlantic, which I don't think we will see. Now, we won 15 straight conference games. We could potentially win our 16th in this one. And I think we can. So for me, is this a trap game? No. But I really, really think for me, they got to go out there and play. The biggest key for me is the run game. It can't fizzle out like it did against Florida Atlantic. To me, they're trying to fix, and I'm kind of also trying. I have a theory. I still am thinking we're figuring out our identity on offense, but we should be okay. Nolan Ray, I think we'll see most of the carries. I'm hoping Christian and Justin will see more of the floor, crossing fingers. But I think Malik's going to get more majority of the snaps. But yeah, other than that, that's it. Couple players I did look at. I mean, they are really, really good. The one player I am curious to worry about is Diari Rogers. He led them. He was actually an All-American last year's return specialist. But he actually had the 22-yard rushing against Holy Cross. He had 4 touchdowns last year. So he was kind of like their go-to offense. But their defense, majority of their defense is still there. Chevion Wright is a redshirt senior. And he was coming from Charleston. Because I think he had a single season record where he I know he won Division Player of the Year because I know he broke a record of like 30 something touchdowns. AJ, can we get that stat for me? Thank you. I know it's a record. Thank you. Please get that looked at for me. But I'm curious to see how we will look at him. But I think our front seven we'll be ready for them. But also too, like these guys, Mike Locksley and Coach Hammock, they go back. They have history, well respected. But yeah, so hey, it's good to see good old coach two OGs personally, and knowing, again, two teams that one time we hadn't seen each other again since 2004. It's good to see an old rivalry matchup kind of reignited. So I'm going to say Maryland defeats Northern Illinois. I'm going to keep it close. I'm going to say 30. I'm not going to keep it secret. I'm going to say 35-14.
Guaranteed.
I think if they, limit the penalties. I think, we contain the defensive pressure, establish the run early. The biggest key for me, I got, because I might be at the game in person as a fan. I really want to see what their offense looks like against our defense. That their first 4 possessions will let me know everything about the tone of the game, personally. So, AJ confirmed it for me. Yes, thank you. It was he did win Division II. He did get 38 touchdowns. That was a single season record. He finished second. It was given to the Division II National Player of the Year. Thank you, sir. I appreciate you. Let's go into one final thought for this episode.
Thoughts are running through my mind. Someone took some time to find a minute or two to organize them.
Okay. One final thought. Man, where do I begin? Oh man. It's interesting. When you look at the video I did today regarding Angel Reese, and and what she said in the post presser in terms of about accountability and different things like that, and how can we be better going forward, and as individuals, and it doesn't matter the situation, and sometimes I think when we take accountability, there is growth, but also at the same time, we have to take it one day at a time and not dwell on the situation. I think the more we dwell on it, I think the more it psychologically, physically, it wears on you. And my message is just take care of yourselves, ladies and gentlemen. If you feel like there's something that's bothering you, you want to get something off your chest, reach out to friends, family, other loved ones, because there's a lot of craziness that's happening in this world that's around us. And yeah, it's crazy. But that's my one final thought. Please stay safe out here. take it one day at a time. Friday is here. Another week is over. The weekends just go by too fast, man. And I'm looking forward to the weekend. I feel like once for me, like after today, and then being able, I think, from able to go to, because I need to reach out to Cameron. Shout out to Cameron, because I'll be there at the game. I think hanging with him and a couple other buddies, Sean Spencer, Mark, and shout out to y'all. I think that will make me feel a whole lot better. So I apologize if I feel like I'm venting, but I feel like I just need to get off my chest. But yeah, that's going to conclude this episode of Big Nate Sports Talk Podcast. Thank you, AJ. As much as always, you're the best. Be tuned for future episodes. Please like, comment, and subscribe for all future episodes on this channel. You can catch the podcast on Spotify. We are still working on catching up on the uploads. We have not forgotten about that, ladies and gentlemen. But we do appreciate it. Also, please leave reviews. It helps the podcast grow. It helps me grow. And also, too, please feel free to give suggestions. But again, that's when it concludes this episode. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Peace. We're out of here. Stay out.
Thank you for tuning in to Big Nate Sports Talk. If you enjoyed that episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and share Big Nate Sports Talk. It's on all the time, anytime.
And I want to thank you. All I want to do is say thank you.